Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is. Don't even know. I am here with Cloë Neophytou. Neophytou. I hope I said that right. I've been practicing all morning. But Chloe and I, we were texting and chatting this morning, and I'm like, "Hey, those are great points. Let me interview you and share this with the world because the world needs to know this." So Chloe is amazing. She's Australian, but she lives in France. So honestly, she's at the epicenter of where all this craziness is going on. Um, but Chloe is a personal trainer, but she's more than that. She's a mind-body performance coach. And she has trained people around the world, professional athletes and Olympians. Her partner is a ex-professional, a former, I should not ex, a former professional rugby player. And I know Chloe was training for the Olympics too. And she's just amazing. I mean, and I love the way she thinks, and it's just not about training and getting your body. You have to align it all. And so we were talking about, how to boost our immune system, right? Because right now we all need to boost our immune system. And she just had some great points. So Chloe, tell us, how do we boost our immune? Well, first I want to know, how are things in France? How are you and your family? How's everything going there?
Well, thank you for that warm welcome to start with. We're doing really well over here. I do think that there is a lot of panic happening, sometimes unnecessarily, because it's a lot of things out of our control. So at the moment in France, we just were notified 2 days ago that schools were closing down. So that could potentially be till May. Some people have even said till maybe September, which I hope not. But you know what, we will deal with it as it comes. And I think that that's something that is the most important out of everything I think we're going to talk about today, is the fact that we have so many things within our control that we can control. So let's do that.
Yeah. And I want to ask, because I did ask you this before, people are healing, right? You've seen people, they're healing from this. So we're all in this panic and thinking the worst, but people are healing. And that's where we got to talking that, boosting our immune system is super important, right? So right now, if you don't have the coronavirus, we've got to all be boosting our immune system. That is the tool that's in our hands that we can do for our bodies, and the best thing we can do. And we're both into wellness, health and wellness. So go ahead and tell us some of the things we can do right now.
Well, the first thing I wanted to say, which I had mentioned earlier when our other call wasn't working, was virus or no virus, we should always be living in either longevity or prevention mode, because we want to live a quality life. And living a quality life means living the healthiest life that we can, not just in mind, but in body and spirit and everything. And all of these ways that we're going to talk about now are things that I would expect anybody to want to do all the time, not just when they're sick, because why are you only going to fix something when it's broken? It doesn't make sense. You want to start that preventative measure beforehand. You don't, So example, one of the first ones was to eat more really colorful foods. Really, every meal, if possible, to have as much color as you can per meal, because the amount of color in the foods, the more vitamins, more nutrients that our bodies need, we're going to be having in all of the meals. And if you've got a fussy kid, that's fine. Just find a way to disguise it. Find a way to get it in. But not just that, also reducing certain foods. So
like what?
In traditional Chinese medicine, mucus is actually produced more by having dairy products, because it causes dampness in the body, and dampness also produces mucus. So reducing dairy, either reducing, or if you can, eliminate completely. I know in our household, I didn't grow up with dairy, but even if I was to have some every now and then, or I know within Chinese medicine, if somebody falls ill or maybe they're a little bit run down, the first thing the Chinese doctor does is remove dairy from their diet. So then it does reduce that sort of thing, but also by boosting the amounts of ginger, because ginger helps expel mucus from the lungs. So if you do have a cold, for example, or maybe you've just got a runny nose, or you're feeling like you do have a bit of mucus buildup, increasing the amount of ginger is going to help expel it, and also lotus root. Lotus root helps you cough it out. Same with ginger. It's really cool. So if you do ever find yourself needing it in the future, lotus root tea and ginger tea, and actually eating the chunks of ginger will help you expel the mucus, which I think the dairy part is very important, given that this is a chest infection, because obviously it's going to be all around the chest area with mucus. So the other thing was to reduce sugar. So I don't mean honey or, your natural ones from natural sources, but refined sugars, your white sugars like caster sugar and brown sugar and things like that. If you can't eliminate it, just reduce it or just substitute it with honey, maple syrup, or coconut sugar. They're the only ones that we have in our household, because sugar feeds inflammation. And that's the last thing we want, is to feed more inflammation in the body.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I love how you connected this respiratory thing with mucus, and dairy causes mucus in the body. I mean, I don't think people think, like we say, oh, don't have dairy, but I've never heard anyone connect it like that. That's one of the reasons, especially when you've got congestion and mucus, you don't want to add, you don't want to add gasoline to the fire, right? So the whole thing we're trying to do here is, it's easiest way to think of it, right? Our bodies are inflamed. What can we do, right, to reduce that? And so dairy being one, and sugar. How about stevia? Because I use stevia. Is it not common in France?
It's not really common over here, but the studies the research that I had found for stevia was, gosh, I'll have to send it to you. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it wasn't very positive. That's all I can really remember. I'll send it to you. It's in one of my books that I have, and it's something that I never use. That and xylitol. I wouldn't recommend.
Oh, I thought stevia was a good one. Yeah. It's a plant, so plant-based. And I'm like, I got my stevia drops.
It must have, I think it's actually the way that it is being prepared, whether, like if you were to actually use the leaf, I think it would be a different story.
So maybe it's it's
the processing part of it, I think.
Powder. Yeah, maybe it's the powder one that is not, because that one they do put other stuff in it, and I've seen it, and I'm like, oh no, you've laced it with other stuff. Yeah. But the liquid, that one is, I think that one is better. But no, it's good to know. Hey, if there's better. What was the third one you said? Coconut sugar.
Coconut sugar. Mm-hmm. So it's from coconut palms. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's so many healing benefits. Like, it's cool when you understand the healing properties of different foods, herbs and spices, because then obviously you're more inclined to eat them because you know what they're doing specifically for the body. And that's how we kind of roll in our family.
Right. And get our sugar from fruits, right? That's the best. The body knows how to process fruits. Yeah. Knows how to deal with that sugar. So it's not that all sugar is bad, but it's you're talking about the processed stuff, the cakes, the pastries, all that stuff. That's going to add. So that creates more inflammation in our body.
Yeah. So if you're going to have cake, make your own and use better sweeteners.
Okay.
What was the other thing I was actually going to say was, speaking still in like the food context and the, like a lot of people, I was one myself that loved, like my powders and things like that, vitamins wise. And it wasn't until I had learned about the parasynergy and the power of reducing oxidative stress, which was one of the things that we're going to talk about, was reducing oxidative stress is a massive helper when it comes to building up our immune system. So if you, what's the word I'm thinking of? Oxidative stress can present itself in so many different ways. Think of all the ways inflammation shows up for you. It could be lack of focus, concentration, poor sleep, poor immunity, sleep issues, or just mental cognitive performance, things like that. And so that's why I choose to use a natural Neophytou activator, because it helps boost my natural antioxidants instead of supplementing with them. Because if I'm supplementing, I have no idea if my body is even using them or absorbing them or what my body really needs. Whereas if I'm switching on this pathway, my body is now creating whatever it needs on its own without pretty much giving myself expensive pee from all the money I'm spending on all these other supplements. And it's something I did for years and years and years, thinking that it was the way we were supposed to do it. And so I'm really glad that I did find something that I could use to do something way more potent for my body, and my whole family is using it.
So, okay, so let's go back a second, because maybe our viewers don't know what oxidative stress is.
Okay.
Oxidative stress, well, you tell us, what's oxidative stress?
So oxidative stress is like the damage that happens to our cells from all of these internal and external factors. So whether you are using products with chemicals, toxins on produce, environmental factors like pollution, EMFs, radiation, emotional stress, fear is a really big one. Stress, like it could be financial, it could be emotional, maybe your boyfriend's left you, you split up with your husband, all of those sorts of things increase oxidative stress in the body. So if you've ever cut open an apple, you'll see, and you leave it maybe for a couple of hours on the table, one side starts to go really dark, and if you pop lemon juice or something on the other side, it stays normal. And that's because it's an antioxidant, so it's protecting the cells from getting damaged. And without that protection, the cells start to become damaged and they oxidize, which is when it looks like it's dying. So that's what's happening to us. And it is actually, it's supposed to be a natural process, but because we're so bombarded with way too many environmental factors and a lot of emotional stress, because we're not learning to become resilient, that our bodies cannot keep up with the level. And so we're finding that we're getting a lot more affected by life, by all these external conditions, and people are getting sicker younger. That's why you see so many children ill at quite a young age now, is because their parents hit a tipping point and passed it over to their children. And so the children are born with the threshold that the parents had, and it wasn't, reduced before them growing up, which is why you see it happen in so many younger generations.
So how does the oxidative stress affect the immune system? So that's the question, right? Why is it important to reduce the oxidative stress? How's it affecting the immune system?
It's affecting the immune system because it's putting so much extra pressure on the body to do so much work. And when the body hasn't got the health to be able to do that, it's being too bombarded that it's just putting everything, it's compromising the system. And one of the major things that will compromise your immune system is your emotions. And your emotions have been proven. There's clinical studies that prove your emotions can control your physiology and your biology. So one of the worst things that could happen for you right now is to just be living in fear, because it will change the way your body is working and it will compromise your immune system, and it's not worth it. So yes, I think that's actually the biggest factor for everybody, because it's something that is so simple to control, but I think it's something people often forget about, is their emotional side.
So it's weakening. So basically it's weakening.
It's really, yeah.
So if we look at our bodies always want to be in balance, right? We're always trying to get to homeostasis. Yeah. So if we've got a lot of oxidative stress, what's happening to our immune system is down here. And we all know right now we need to boost our immune system. So the idea is to do this shift, right? Mm-hmm. Lower your oxidative stress and then boost the immune system. So then you talked about an NRF2 activator. You've activated your body. So instead of supplementing, which isn't effective enough, now you're on a NRF2 activator to boost your immune system. So tell me, the particular NRF2 activator that you're on, do you know how much does it reduce the oxidative stress in a person's body?
So you can actually get certain testing done. I know there's a few different types of blood tests. There was a really cool ABC primetime report that was done, I think it was in 2005. And it was reporting, they were investigating on the reporter. So they did his T-bars. So if you want to test it out, go and get your T-bars run first. And it measured his oxidative stress levels before taking it. And then 2 weeks later, they tested it and it was reduced by 45%. And that was only in 2 weeks. And this man was maybe in his late 50s or early 60s or something. And that was only 2 weeks. And some people had effects of up to 70% reduction over longer term
Right,
usage,
with continued
which was
use.
really cool. Yeah, but not just that, it had also over about 120 days, it had increased their glutathione, which can't be supplemented in the body. So it increased the natural stores of glutathione by 300%. And so that's at about the 3-4 month mark. And glutathione is super, super necessary for our immune system to function properly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great.
cool.
Oh my goodness,
I know.
that's awesome.
I know. And can I just say that I heard that the scientist, I can't remember his name, a French scientist had spoken yesterday. It was shared on an Italian website. And he had said that we really need a cellular intervention at this time that reduces oxidative stress. And I thought it was really funny that I'd been using this. And then he goes and starts talking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm really glad that I'm using it.
Yeah, I saw that too. And when he said, you need to reduce your oxidative stress and, to boost your immune system on a cellular level, I'm like, oh my goodness, we've got it. I feel so blessed that I have been activated now almost 10 years.
Wow. And
I'm increasing, my Neophytou activator. I normally take 2 a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. But I was talking to a doctor friend of mine, and she's like, go to 3 a day right now. We really need to.
Wow. I've been actually, I've been taking 2 as well.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, we've got the whole family, doubling it up on it. Yeah. So, so then you were talking about the stress and the mind. So I know you're going to talk about another thing to boost our immune system.
Yes. And that is also the way that you're breathing and using meditation, because our mind is the most powerful thing that we have, and we might as well learn to use it. And that's something that I've personally dedicated so much of my own time to, is learning how to master my mind. Because if we can learn how to build a resilient mind, we actually will build a resilient immune system, and we will build a resilient body as well. So one of the things is, if you're comfortable with meditation, begin your day with meditation, but make it way more intentional. How do you want to feel throughout the day? And how can you start by bringing that into your daily life and carrying it through? If you ever find maybe you're not someone that finds meditation easy, that's completely fine. It doesn't have to be for every single person to sit in silence. But if you do find that you're someone that feels stressed or anxious, or maybe you're feeling fearful about everything that's been going on, maybe you know people who are quite elderly and it could affect them, for example, just pause wherever you are, whenever you're feeling that way, and close your eyes and just bring your attention back to your breath, because our breath is what gives us our energy. And if we have more energy, we have more oxygen. And if we have more oxygen, we're giving that blood circulation through the body. So,
because we actually stop breathing when we're in fear. I mean, I know I hold my breath, and I'm like, oh. Yeah. And then, can you give us? I don't know what you're going to say next, but can you show us an easy?
Yes, that's what I was going to do.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So all I was going to suggest is, or if you're watching right now, just let's do it together. So I want everybody to just close your eyes and just relax through your neck and shoulders, and just take a really deep sigh. So inhale and then exhale to sigh. Good. And so you may, if you are feeling a little stressed or anxious right now, you'll notice that your breathing is quite fast. So all we want to do is work on inhaling as long as we can through the nose, and then exhaling as deep as you can, either through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels comfortable. And inhaling as deep as you can through the nose. And exhaling as deep as you can. Now on each inhale and exhale, we just want to focus on deepening it even more, but relaxing our face and our neck and shoulders even more as well. And on the next one, we're going to bring some intention into it. So on the next one, we're going to inhale calm. So I literally say that word in my head. I'm inhaling calm into my body like a wave. And as I exhale, I'm exhaling out any stress or tension that doesn't serve me. And I'm seeing it sort of like a wave that's exiting out through the balls of my feet back into the earth. And I just repeat that cycle. So I'm inhaling calm. And exhaling tension out through the feet back into the earth. Now there may be a color attached to it. And if there is, that's great. And if there's not, that's fine too. Exhale tension. So now we're going to inhale peace. And just exhale any stress from the body, relaxing even more as you're releasing through the feet. Inhale peace and calm. Exhale any stress and tension. And last one. Inhale peace and calm. Exhale tension and stress from the body. And then you can open your eyes. And I don't know about you, but I feel way better already. And I wasn't even stressed.
I do. I could literally feel the tension just leaving my body. Yeah. I was watching on Netflix, and I'll recommend to everyone. It's called Heal, Heal.
Love that. Yes, love it.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It's talking about how, how to heal your body and how people have done it naturally. And this doctor physically 1,500 different people that have had, I think they call it spontaneous remission with different diseases. I think it's what they call it. So your body, whatever you goes into spontaneous remission. And there was 9 things that they mentioned. 2 of them had to do with foods, and the other 7 were all about meditation. About it was about the mind. It was different things with the mind and how to get the mind to heal your body, to release the stress, finding where that stress came from in your life, and finding where that stress came from in your life to just release. And it was just fascinating. So I recommend to everyone, go watch Heal on Netflix. We're home, right? Yeah. Look at positive stuff that we can learn and do and incorporate into our lives.
Yeah. And also if that's all right. If anyone is friends with me on Facebook, I'm going to post in the morning, I'm going to do a 5-minute breathing, intentional breathing sort of meditation for anyone who wants to join, just to begin their day or end their evening with something intentional to focus on the breath. So then it can always be replayed and watched for anyone who wants to use it.
And that's on your personal page?
That'll be on my business page, Power Zen by Cloë.
So say that again.
Power Zen by Cloë.
Okay, awesome. And I will put it in the
comments.
In the comments. Yes. Okay. So we've got food, we've got activation we've talked about, and meditation and
meditation. There was actually another one alongside of the immunity thing, which was not just fear that suppresses it, but laughter and happiness boosts it. So go and watch all of the funny videos on YouTube. Go and watch anything that makes you giggle. Like, play the games with your family that make you laugh, because those things are going to boost your immune system, which is why you see so many, what is it called? I think it's in Asia, where they do like laughing yoga or laughing. It's just a class that you come to and laugh. And people go into remission from just going to things like this, because it's changing their biology. It's really cool.
Being happy and laughing, totally. That's why I've been trying to post some crazy, funny stuff out there. I've been using Snapchat and doing funny videos with my mom and stuff, and just trying to keep it light, because your body, if you just picture when you're in fear, everything tightens up, right? It literally, I can feel it. I don't get a lot of anxiety. I'm normally a very, I try to be a very Zen person. But I went shopping yesterday. I went to Costco here. It's a big store here where you can buy stuff in bulk. And I always go there. I just do my weekly groceries. So I was just going there to go get what I needed. Yeah. It was crazy in there. It was a zoo. It felt like it was the end of the world.
Oh my gosh.
It really, I felt the anxiety in me. I was like, I was holding my breath, and I'm like, no. And I did 3 deep breaths, like you just did with us, just, you know, and I try to think of happy thoughts and love. I love the way you did it though, like bring in calm and release. But, and I'm not an anxious person, right? I'm usually very restless. And for me to feel anxiety, I can just imagine people that are anxious, people that are, you know, how they are. And so we need to laugh and be around people we love and just have a good time and have faith and hope and meditate and know that we're all going to get through this.
Exactly.
All right.
There's my screen.
Down to 3 things. What's next?
So, sorry, that was, so the 4th one was the the meditation breathing one. So we had eat more colorful foods, reduce certain foods, to laugh more, to boost our antioxidants through NRF2 activation and reducing oxidative stress. And then the last one is to move, because we can still control self-care. We can still move. We can still, you know, your gym may be closed right now, or you may have restricted access wherever you are, but you still have your house and your garden if you've got a garden. So I highly recommend moving, either with your kids if you have kids, or if you don't, then you have even more reason to have opportunity to do it. For example, like I'm really grateful at the moment that I have an online workout membership, which is like Netflix, but for workout videos. So for people who are stuck indoors, they actually already have this available to actually go and do their workout video in their own home. So it's really great. But the reason why moving is so important is you're going to get that rush of endorphins, which is really also boosting your immune system, but it's also really important for your mental sanity. If you're going to be stuck inside, you want to be doing anything that's going to help you feel good, anything that's going to help your mindset, anything that helps you feel like you're in control. So moving and exercising is not just for your physical body, but it's also really important for your mental well-being.
Yeah, and we need I know you said inside, but we need the fresh air. I mean, these germs aren't like in the virus isn't floating in the air that you're going to get it. So find a space where there's not
open your windows. Either like we're still going to go to the track because no one goes to the tracks really. So it's going to be fine for us to head down to the track. And I did see even in Italy, there were people running on the streets really early in the mornings, you know, like taking advantage of that time that they do have for themselves. If it means getting up earlier, then go and do it. If it means that you're going to stay sane, you know, but it should all be about doing it for your long-term health and prevention, not just only during this one period of time.
Right. And maybe if we get into these habits now because of what's going on, just make it part of our lives.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe that's what it's going to be helping people do, is establish better health care protocols for themselves in general. Because a lot of people already have these protocols. So life is not going to change much for these people, but this is going to be challenging for people who aren't used to actually caring for their bodies.
Right. Yeah.
So now's a really good time.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and
thank you.
Stay safe, and you've blessed us so much. And I love you just giving us the reasons behind why these things affect us. So let's all go out there and reduce the oxidative stress and boost our immune system. So thanks, Cloë. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.